So in recent weeks, the government has been playing the blame game, pointing fingers at everyone and everything, blaming them for the fall of the economy, from cryptocurrency exchanges to desperate politicians who didn't win the 2023 elections. I keep wondering, are they chasing shadows or is there really something more sinister at play? As for me, my major concern in all this is that there is one thing they blame that really affects me personally and affects you as well. The government blamed social media, and it's really funny to me because I remember specifically during the election campaigns that Tinubu said this about social media.
I don't read social media anymore.
But after the campaigns and 1 year into this administration, everything the government has said and done shows that not only does the government care about social media, they hate social media, and I've narrowed it down to 4 articles that make my point for me that government does not want social media in your hands. The first article was on 2nd February 2024. It says, deporting 12,000 Nigerians will worsen insecurity, Akpabio begs Germany. Now, according to this article, Nigeria Senate President Godswill Akpabio, he met with the German ambassador to Nigeria and she was discussing deporting about 12,000 illegal Nigerian immigrants back to Nigeria from Germany. The lady by name Annette Gunther met with the Nigerian Senate President in Abuja and wanted to discuss this issue. But Akpabio's response to her address was very, very strange. I'll just read through the article. President of the Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio, has urged the German government to not deport about 12,000 illegal migrants into Nigeria, saying such a move will aggravate security challenges in the country. He begged the German government to halt its move of deporting 12,000 illegal immigrants of Nigerian extraction, as this can create more insecurity in the country. He then goes on to say, we also have a problem of infiltration from other countries. We require assistance from Germany in the area of security because when we had the Boko Haram issues in the northeast, it might not have escalated to the level it did if we had the support of major players like Germany and others. Now, the thing that struck me about this address is basically the German ambassador came to talk about illegal migration, of which a lot of these Nigerians, they probably went out in search of greener pastures, right? And they went out to Germany. I'm not sure at what point of this conversation that he had to bring up Boko Haram issues in the Northeast. Is he saying that these 12,000 Nigerians that went to Germany, that they are all criminals? Is that the implication of it? And if indeed they are you now saying that there's now Germany's problem to deal with? Like Germany, just keep them there. I'm not really sure how this conversation will go like this, but it's so funny to read. And there's more. It was very difficult for us to get support from America at that time, maybe due to what they read on social media concerning us. If developed countries stop listening to social media, they will be willing to assist developing countries. Dumping 12,000 illegal immigrants, dumping 12,000 illegal immigrants in Nigeria would lead to the escalation of insecurity in the country. There is therefore the need for your country to allow our immigration officers to assess who exactly is in Nigeria and among them. If they allow them in here without any kith and kin and they have to survive, the result will be nothing but militancy or insecurity. Okay, now he's kind of accusing Germany of not doing their due diligence on these people, like saying that they are probably not actually Nigerians. I can only imagine how this German ambassador felt like listening to this whole speech. But anyway, basically what concerned me from this article is when he said if developed countries stop listening to social media, that they would be willing to assist developing countries. And this allegation still leads a lot of citation that they approached America for help, and America was like, we don't like what we're hearing on social media about you guys, so we're not going to help. The second article I'm going to highlight about this issue came from a police spokesperson who said that killings and abductions in Nigeria were blown out of proportion. Like, basically in this article, what he was saying was that a lot of the insecurity cases we hear about on social media, like lies. Unfortunately, there were 2 traditional leaders, 2 monarchs in Ekiti State that were unalived. In addition to that, a couple of school children were also abducted. And for some reason, police spokesman came out and instead of giving a report on the situation, he said that a lot of these things were being exaggerated by social media. So speaking on the Ekiti state situation in particular, he said insecurity was never prevalent in the state and the southwest. He said the landscape and topography of the state were responsible for the recent kidnappings as it's surrounded by rocks. He said in most cases, the topography of some of these areas, take Buari for instance, even in Lagos, the kidnapping there, take a look at the waterways. As for Ekiti, it is a forest. Forget about what you read on social media. The reality is it is not so. It is just an isolated case, and it is not as if it happens on a daily basis. Unfortunately, just 3 days after he made this statement, 6 sisters were kidnapped again in Abuja, and this police spokesman made a comment on Twitter. Said, "Don't cry more than the bereaved." Can you imagine? But basically what I want to glean from this article is that the police spokesman was basically calling social media a source of misinformation. Now the third article that highlights the government's hate of social media comes from none other than the vice president himself, Kashim Shettima, who called Nigerians on Twitter clowns for celebrating the downfall of the Naira. Basically, Shettima will just try to blow off some steam, because that's the only way I can explain this one. He said instead of us to coagulate into a single force and salvage Nigeria's economy, I don't even know what that means. Normally I think it's the vice president whose job it is to manage the Nigerian economy, and the vice president is on Twitter checking people's reactions. Like, were the ones that came up with the policies that started Naira plummeting like that, like it was our fault or something. Anyway, the fourth article that kind of showed the Nigerian government's disdain came from the Nigerian president's chief of staff, which is Femi Gbajabiamila. He said social media had become a menace, and he called for the regulation of social media. The regulation, or the extent of the regulation, was not really explained, but normally when they say these kind of things, they mean an outright ban, as many people do not understand that once the send button is hit, there is a potential to reach millions of people around the world, which is capable of causing a great danger, not just in society, but even unintended consequences to the individuals that are receiving information, which may include security of life. Some of these things, they sound very insulting to the average citizen, because it's basically like telling somebody that, okay, for example, going to the library, that they can't choose the right book for themselves, that they need to choose the government approved books in the library that they will read, that will not destroy their mind or something silly like that. But the real question for me here is, how exactly does a tool like social media destroy the economy of the country? Like, how is it detrimental to any country? There are so many businesses that have adopted social media to reach more customers in this day and age, and I'm not even talking about like individuals, I'm talking about organizations, even churches, even the government, news networks, companies. They are using social media to reach a bigger audience. And considering that a lot of the issues facing Nigeria now are economic, are you saying you now want to shut off another form of economy which social media has presented for many Nigerians? Like, even crowdfunding has become an economy in itself on social media. Even people begging for money has become an industry for itself on social media. And you want to cut this off, what would the reality look like after that? Are you saying investors will have more confidence in Nigeria if you shut off social media? Like, are you saying an investor would go, oh, their government is banning social media, oh yes, now I can invest? You think they won't be more scared about investing in that kind of environment? My advice to the Nigerian government, I'm advising the Nigerian government, chasing shadows really would not solve anything. That's if they actually even want to solve anything. Anyway, thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, I want to ask you to like and subscribe and click on the notification bell so that you'll be informed whenever I post new videos. Thanks so much for watching. My name is Obi King, and I'll see you guys in the next one.